Lecture Outline. Hello, and welcome to the third lecture of the Technical Analysis course. Now, in the second half of this introduction module, we will be going through an Excel tutorial. And there will be 2 lectures as part of this, and these 2 lectures will then conclude the Excel tutorial. And what we're going to do is learn how to use Excel for the purpose of analyzing financial data. This will be very useful for when we have to create our own trading systems. So in the final module, when we look at technical trading systems, that is when we will need to make heavy use of Excel, because we'll need to input data into it and do analysis on it and come up with ideas and strategies. So that's what this lecture is going to help us with. And really, these next 2 lectures are going to be laying the foundation for what we'll be doing later on. So while the next 2 lectures will probably, for many of you, you may already have seen a lot of this before, and it will mostly be how to use Excel for various features and various functions. It is nonetheless very important because we really do need to understand the tools of how to use Excel in order to actually build a trading strategy later on. So here's what we'll be going through in the rest of this lecture. So I've talked a little bit already about the purpose of this Excel tutorial. We'll talk briefly about Excel add-ins and how to do charts on Excel. And then the majority of our lecture will be spent on statistical analysis. So what we will be doing is going to Excel to learn how to do basic statistical analysis. Again, a lot of these concepts some of you will have definitely seen before, but again, it's important to get the basics right so we're all at the same page going forward. Let's get started. Excel add-ins. Now, Excel is a very powerful software that is used across the world, especially in business, and definitely a lot in finance, and we can use it to analyze financial data. So if we have, for example, the price of a stock over a period of time, let's say 1 year, we can put that into Excel and do something cool with it, try and come up with a trading strategy for it. And I just want to talk briefly about Excel add-ins. So these are additional software that you can add to Excel that can help you to do certain things. So there are add-ins that are specific to technical analysis. Now, if you are interested in one of these, I would recommend going to www.analyzerexcel.com. They have a variety of technical analysis add-ins, and essentially what it lets you do is you can input the data and then it will have all the different indicators that you can plot, and many more, as well as testing strategies. And unfortunately, these do cost money, but you can download a free trial before buying it. Now, in this course, we will not be using any additional technical analysis add-ins, because we obviously don't expect everyone to have this. So what I would say is that if you are interested in it, it can make your life a little easier. But it isn't necessary. A lot of what you can do it yourself just using the normal Excel. And my suggestion is that you use Excel for a little while without any add-ins, and then if you feel that having an add-in will really help, you should try it. And actually there is a free trial, so there's really no risk in trying it to begin with. So the one add-in we will use is known as the Analysis Tool Pack. This is a free add-in. Does not require any additional software, and it should already come part of your Excel package. And I just want to show you briefly how to install it in case you have not already done that. So here we have Microsoft Excel. Now, I just mentioned that we will be looking to use the Analysis Tool Pack as an Excel add-in, and I want to quickly show you how to install that and explain to you what exactly it is. The Analysis Tool Pack is an Excel add-in that allows us to do basic statistical analysis. It can save us a lot of time and can do some very good calculations. It's pretty useful, so we will be using it through this course because it's a free add-in and it's available on Excel 2010 as well as Excel 2007, and I believe on Excel 2003 as well. Because it's available, we'll use it, and we'll first show you how to install it. So for now, just ignore the file that I have open. We will be coming back to this later on. And let me show you quickly how to install this. So you can see my cursor moving up. So this is in Excel 2010. Essentially, if you first go to the Data tab here, okay, if you see this Data Analysis here, okay, that means you have the Analysis Toolpak installed already. So I can click on this, and this is essentially what the Analysis Toolpak has. It has, you can see, for example, correlation, covariance, f-statistics, t-tests, regression, lots of fun stuff. So check if you have this. If you already have it, then you don't need to do anything. If you do not have it, then the way to install it is to go into Options from here and click on Add-ins. And here you can see, for me, the active add-ins is Analysis Toolpak. And if you want to change your add-ins, you can manage Excel add-ins and click Go, and then you can check the ones you want installed. So this one is installed for me. I don't have any of the others installed. I don't feel like I need them, because if you do add-ins that you don't need, it will just take up space. But I would suggest going ahead and clicking on the Analysis Toolpak and having it installed, and then you'll be good to go. Now we've talked about add-ins, let's move on to the next topic in this lecture, which is charts. Now, I'm only going to talk about charts very briefly, and I'll explain why in a minute. Now, we can use Excel to create charts. It is fairly easy to do so, and we will do an example after going through this slide. Now, even though Excel can be used to create charts, what we find is that most people tend to use a web-based platform like Yahoo Finance for their technical analysis charts. So in the previous lecture, we made heavy use of Yahoo Finance, showing how to plot the various indicators and how to construct a chart. And this is the reason people like to use a web-based technical analysis platform, because a lot of the indicators are already built in. And the other main advantage is that the data is already available. So most of the time we probably would not be using Excel to do charting analysis. We'll primarily be using it to do numerical analysis like statistics and testing trading strategies. However, there will be some situations where you may need to use it in order to do charting. Now, for example, there will be certain times when your data source, that is the location where you're getting your data from, will not have a charting package within it, and you'll need to use Excel. So in the case of Yahoo Finance, it has, for example, various different stocks as part of its database, and we can only chart what stocks it already has built into it. So if there's a particular asset that's not in Yahoo Finance, then we cannot use it to do technical analysis. Now, most of the time you can find another platform to do technical analysis. For example, for Indian commodities and currencies, often on the exchange websites, they will have some charting package to do analysis. However, it may not be very complete and may not be the best, so there will be situations when you want to use Excel. And if you do use Excel for charts, then I would suggest using the add-ins. So the technical analysis add-in is primarily helpful for building those charts. It can build those charts, it can plot all the indicators itself without you having to do it manually. And so that's what I would recommend using if you want to use charts. Now, obviously, since we're just starting out, I would first use the charts available on the web-based platforms wherever you get your data from. Like I suggest Yahoo Finance as your first option. I think it's one of the most comprehensive packages out there. And then see, if you find yourself in a situation where the web-based technical analysis platforms are not good enough for what analysis you want to do, then you can look at the Excel add-ins and doing the charting analysis on Excel itself. Back now to our discussion on charts, and we're back in Excel. As I'm sure you can imagine, we will be doing this frequently, going back and forth between PowerPoint and Excel. Much of this lecture will take the format that will explain a concept in PowerPoint with the slides, and then we'll go to Excel and apply it ourselves. So what we want to do now is build a chart. Alright, so we want to show how do you build a chart in Excel. So first let me explain to you what data I have here. So I downloaded this from Yahoo Finance, and I have just pasted it into Excel. And what this is the value of the Nifty index, which I'm sure all of you know, from starts here from January 2005 until the end of December 2011. Okay, and here will be the values of the index on each date. So these are daily prices. This is the closing price of the index on each date. So as you can see, from 2005, the index is trading just above 2,000, and we end up at just over 4,500. So fairly large gain, sizable gain in a 6-year period. And what we want to do now is create a chart. So how do we go about doing that? Well, what we need to do in order to create a chart is essentially select the data, and we would go to Insert, and here we would have a line, and we just have to click this, and this creates a line chart for us. So here we have the value of the index. The date is on the horizontal axis, and the value of the index is on the vertical axis, and we have a chart. So this was fairly easy to do. And obviously this chart is using all of the data from 2005. Chances are, if you're doing shorter to medium term trading, you don't want to use all the data, but then you can just select what you want. So for example, if I don't want to include these data points, I can just move this up. Okay, if I don't want to, let's say I don't want to include January 2005, I can go up to here, start in February 2005, and the chart will change. Okay, so again, fairly simple to do so. You can go into this and play around with the border color, the styles, how you want it to look. I mean, this is not as important for us, but essentially this is how we create a chart. And if we want to plot anything else along with it, let's say for example we wanted to plot a moving average, all we would need to do is calculate the moving average, put the values side by side, and then it would plot on the graph next to it.